Okay, Ceramics 2 students, welcome back this week. And we've got um, a new assignment, and that assignment has to do with working with your pieces once they come out of the kiln. So you're going to combine something that you make in class, fire, paint, or glaze, decorate somehow, with something that you find around the house, or something that you see in the room, or something that you collect outside. One artist who did this, and we've referenced him before, was an artist named Marcel Duchamp, and he worked in the early half of the 20th century, and is one of these great masterminds. You can see him here after leaving the art world. Essentially, he became a grand master in chess, but he is thought of as one of the great thinkers of the art world from the early 20th century. So he was associated with two movements, the Dadaist movement and the Surrealist movement, but a lot of contemporary art, this would say that he is one of the first conceptual artists. Um, his early work, included sort of traditional media like painting. This is a famous piece, a nude descending a staircase, where he's painting not the figure itself, but the movement of the figure as it descends down a staircase, and has allusions to Cubist work, but it's sort of its own thing. Then went on to working with different kinds of materials than just traditional paint. So this is um, trying to leave the world of retinal art, what he's referred to as things that were more visual than anything else. This is The Bride Stripped Bare by Her Suitors. It is collaged paper between pieces of glass. And when it was shipped from wherever he created it in France to New York City, the glass shattered, as you can kind of see there. So when it arrived at the gallery, you can imagine they were, frightened by that, and called and apologized and talked to him about it. And he said, "No, you know what? Now the piece itself is complete. It's finished. It took that act of chance for it to become a finished thing, something that he didn't predict." Um, the things that he's probably even more famous for, although I'm oversimplifying here, are these ready-made objects. And I've told you the story of this one before, where he took the urinal and submitted it to a group that was having an art show with new work, um, and that they rejected it, which then, of course, called into question whether or not they were open to new ideas. But this idea of taking something that already existed and changing the way that we looked at it, that is one of those new contemporary ideas that we talked about in class, where what we think about the piece is maybe more important than the piece itself. Um, so every couple, at least twice a year, he would create new pieces like that uh, were combinations of objects or just simply objects themselves. So here we have a bicycle wheel and a stool, and it would spin. So the movement was a part of it. Um, so what are you going to do? I want you to think outside of the clay. So here are some examples of pieces by professionals where the work that they make is combined with things that they haven't made. Here's a dog that's been decorated, kind of like tiled, almost a mosaic, with hardware. Now he's funny. I think he makes me laugh because of his profession, so it's got that humor aspect to it too. But I like the fact that he's kind of built out of things that are thrown away. Of course, you could make the dog and then put stuff on it afterwards. Here's a bird, a simple bird, and of course, this person then collected sticks to combine with the bird form, because things like wings would be hard to make out of clay. And of course, of those sticks, why make them when they're already there? So this bird is collecting to create its nest, and this is probably a piece that hangs. Here's a great one, just simple, like I take a garbage bag, I make a couple of hands, and then this little trail of like dirt coming out. Sort of looks like a mole, or maybe somebody who's praying but's been covered up. So they are now, in a body bag, which might allude to some kind of like they died, and turning to dirt, or returning to the earth. But I love this idea of taking something like a garbage bag and having stuff come out of it. Like what could be coming out of a garbage bag? What could be trapped inside there? And just making something that pokes out. I like this combination of clay and wood, playing on the lines that are in the wood grain. Here's one where they've connected hardware to boxes that have different imagery on them. I think it's kind of fun. And just a few more things. Hooks connected with this ball, hoses connected to um, outlets, which of course wouldn't make sense. But there's a few ideas for you guys to start thinking about. So, again, the assignment for you is to combine something that you make with clay and fire with something that doesn't go into the kiln. So start thinking, start Googling, come up with some of those ideas, and I'm excited to see what you come up with.